Vastu and Directions. Finding the center of the floor plan. Find your center without going crazy. Floor plans can have the most disparate shapes, so it's difficult to find a comprehensive way to describe them all. The important thing is to understand that you shouldn't obsess over it. It doesn't affect the areas of influence that much, especially if your building is not so big. First of all, let's not forget that outside world mimics the inside world. What is outside of you is actually inside of you, in the subconscious, and vice versa. Sometimes it happens that a house, office, or workspace doesn't have a precise center. It doesn't have a clear and well-defined center. When this happens, according to Vastu, it means that you or your business also lack a, say, center. To identify the center of your home or of your space in general, we will use the technique of the encompassing rectangle. The strategy is to find the largest rectangle that encompasses the floor plan of your home at the best. Let me show you an example. This is a very simple floor plan, and sometimes floor plans are fortunately simple like this one. You see, it's quite easy to draw a rectangle that encompasses all the floor plan. Here it's indicated by the dashed red line. It's easy because the floor plan has a regular shape. After tracing this large rectangle, all you need to do is to draw the diagonals, and the intersection point is this one, and this will be the center of your floor plan. You can mark this with a red dot or a little cross here with a pen. I suggest you to draw all these lines to find out the center, so the big rectangle and the two diagonals with a pencil, so that you can erase them, because they are quite disturbing. You will see that in the following slides, that those lines can become quite disturbing when you are then analyzing your house with the areas that we will find with the Vastu compass. Another example here, you see this floor plan is a little bit more complicated. It's not regular as the previous one. You see there are areas where the walls are having irregular shapes. This is quite common actually. And you see, the rule is the same. You need to draw the larger rectangle encompassing all your floor plan. And you see here is going out from your living space, here and here. But this is the technique. Then you draw the two diagonals, and this will be your center. Same thing here. In this case, trace the outline so it includes the entire floor plan, and then draw its diagonals, and here you have the center of this floor plan. This is a case of an irregular plan where there isn't even a rectangular shape, but the same technique applies. So if this is your case, you should draw the largest rectangle which encompasses all the walls, trying to contain everything, and then draw the diagonals to identify the center. So you see here the large rectangle and then the two diagonals. This is the center of this plot. The question I often receive is, do you include the terraces or not? Well, this is a good question. It depends on the size of the terrace and especially how the terrace is used. Sometimes terraces are so small that they only serve to look out from the window of a living room, say, or a kitchen. In the case of a large terrace like this, I generally include it in the plan. As you can see here, I have included this large terrace, and this gives you a center here. If I hadn't considered it included in the house, in the home, then I would have a shift in the center. You see here, I have traced a rectangle here and then the two diagonals. So the center is moving, I think a couple of meters, something like that. So how much is this shift? It's not a big shift. it will not influence too much the areas of the areas of influence of Vastu when you will determine them. So it's not that big problem, and this is quite borderline case because this terrace is really big. So usually terraces are not that large, so including or not including the terrace is not changing so much your center. But in cases like this, when the terrace is very large, I usually consider both of them, both the centers, because sometimes it can say something more subtle about your house. So, general rule, if the terrace is large and much used in the day-to-day life, you should integrate the terrace into the rectangle that encompasses the entire floor plan. Otherwise, you should exclude it. In case the home, office, or workspace develops over multiple floors, once the center is determined on one floor, that center is usually carried over at the same spot to all other floors. For example, in this case here, you see that the outline takes it into the entire floor plan, and if we go to the upper floor, you may want to have a different center like this for some reason, but that's a mistake. You should not do this when analyzing the Vastu of your home. Instead, you need to carry over the same center. So here on the ground floor, you have this center, and so you just carry over the same center with the same rectangle to all the other floors. So once you have chosen a center, you should carry that center over to the other floors as well. I think that you are now aware that the more complicated the floor plan gets, the more doubts there can be about what the center is. And as we said at the beginning, when this doubt can be resolved, it means that the building doesn't have a very clear center. In my experience, I've seen that when this happens, the building is quite confusing itself. When you enter it, you get easily disoriented. This is not good for Vastu, and we call this a defect of the center of the building. There are several defects for Vastu regarding the different areas of influence of your home. We will learn to identify them and to correct them. Well, we have seen how to find our center. Now let's move on, because we need to orient the floor plan. This means we have to find out the geographical north direction of your floor plan. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumb up, and if you want more on Vastu, the yoga of living, please subscribe.